What's up, everybody?
Welcome back.
Welcome back to Snackcast. Today, we are going to come at you with a Twitter thread. Really cool thread I stumbled onto, shared it with Kevin. This is the guy who wrote it and the thread link if you want to look it up. But if I can summarize this Barefoot Will guy, I've followed him for some time. He's a proponent, hence the name, of barefoot running. He often, has comments or posts or links to things that talk about the modern shoe, the damage it does to the foot. So anyways, we're going to do a little dive into this specific thread. It was fairly long, but he gets into several things about barefoot running and kind of the science behind it. And I thought it'd be cool to share with our audience.
So it's supposed to be barefoot running. Why would you do barefoot running?
Well, his position, and I don't mean to put words in his mouth, his position as I read it is that the foot was designed to do its job, and that includes running. And we'll get into specifics of kind of the modern shoe and what it does. Well, we'll get started. The first thing he kind of pointed out was that the modern shoe promotes an unusual stride, and that is that we heel strike.
Okay.
We come in and we hit with our heel first, whereas if you've ever ran barefoot, even just across the yard, it's not really a heel strike. You're more on kind of the whole foot, if not up on the ball. Do you call it the ball? Is that the above
ball.
The arch, below the toes?
Yep.
You're kind of more on the ball, whereas shoes promote heel striking. And in this thread, he actually has a little graph of kind of where the energy goes. Not a graph; it's more like a drawing. But
reverse back a little bit. Is there a natural intention to toe striking first? I mean, is that have you ever stepped on glass in your kitchen and you didn't get cut because you instantly recognized that? I mean, like a divine don't put your full weight on it because you just stepped on something bad.
Whereas with the heel, you just crush.
Right. So that's interesting all by itself.
Yeah. So with the heel strike, basically the energy kind of goes this way, and where with the sole strike, it goes this way, and your whole body absorbs that energy this way. It's bad on the lower back. It's bad on the knees.
So running barefoot has a benefit.
More natural. We'll get into that. So one of the things that the modern day shoe, according to Barefoot Will, is doing is it's reducing the natural performance of the arch of our foot.
Okay.
And he correlated it to the springs on a car, right? The shock system on a car. And it's designed to kind of, when you run on the sole, it flattens and then whoop, it springs and propels you forward. The modern shoe, of course, has the big heel pad that isolates that movement. And not only is it, I guess, I don't want to say a bad way to run, but it's actually causing that arch to weaken because it doesn't get used.
So more Achilles injuries, more knee injuries, more...
Absolutely. Right. And, dude, don't get me wrong. I mean, I remember I saw a guy at Disney that had the 5-toe shoes on, and I took a picture of it and put it on social media making fun of the guy. I am no barefoot running expert or even advocate. I just found it really interesting, the whole thread.
And, I don't know many areas where you, even if you wanted to do this, where you could do it without causing injury to yourself. I mean, there is so much glass, rocks, asphalt. You have to find the proper
yard. My own yard has
stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So I wonder, just how you're limited, right? Probably trail runs, probably.
Yeah, in fact, he kind of gets into it in the thread that this is something, if you choose to explore it, you have to go really slow.
Yeah, I think I read articles about it, no more than 5% of your of your daily runs should be barefoot. I mean, you have to get acclimated. I tried this.
And you run on natural surfaces, not asphalt or concrete. You run on grass, sand and you even start by walking.
Right. I tried that a little bit, and I did a run walk for a week tried to do the barefoot thing, and I mean, I was blistered. Yeah, my community, which again, asphalt and sidewalk.
Yeah.
And, yeah, just absolutely blistered. I imagine over time you get calloused and it gets a little bit better.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, and not to mention just the muscles, like the arch, right? Mm-hmm. If it's used to being like this in a shoe and not being used at all, we all know what it's like to take a muscle you're not used to using and
yeah, your calves will hurt because of
calves, arches.
Yep.
Yeah. So one of the other things I did want to share was the heel lift that's designed. Everyone knows their shoe has a bigger heel in the back than it does the toe section in the front, which kind of puts the foot in not a natural flat, but kind of in a downward lean. And in the thread, he gets into how that shortens the Achilles, does not allow it to stretch and do its job and work. Man, I found it really interesting. Enough that I might try it.
Yeah, but they have equipment now for this, right? You alluded to it, the 5-finger thing.
There's various shoes, and I mean, there's very minimalist, and then there's kind of advanced where you could maybe hit. I don't want to say you can, but you could probably run over glass and it not go through. But it's removing all of the modern designs of the shoe.
Nike would be pissed.
Yeah. Well, I give the guy credit. I love bringing down, big enterprises.
Right.
But it was a really cool thread. I would recommend anybody. I think he had a free ebook. It links from his profile. You can actually go get his book if you wanted to do a little deeper dive into the benefits.
And there's another book out there, Born to Run, I believe is the name of it, and it talks about like how the body was designed to run barefoot.
Yeah,
and that's another one. I think it's McDougall was the gentleman's last name.
Okay, well, it's. Running has become this thing that, it's just a form of exercise. And it used to be transport. And you could get to the store and back. I don't know what it was back in caveman days, right? But you could get wherever you were going a little faster if you chose to run, slower if you walked.
Right.
But now we spend so much time at a desk in a car.
I should start running home for lunch.
You should. You should. I'll ride next to you in my truck and time you.
Yeah, appreciate that.
So, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you found it interesting. The whole concept is a little mind-blowing to me. We didn't even get into, like, toe spreading and how shoes contract the toes and don't allow them. Look up pictures of, like, older tribal-type indigenous people, and their feet are, like, really wide, and he comments on that a little bit.
Oh, I mentioned to you before, just off topic, a friend of ours did the Appalachian Trails and a bunch of the long trails, and they did the whole thing. And then during that process, their shoe size was like increased 3 or 4 shoe sizes.
It was a lot.
All the pounding on, and they had minimalist shoes.
Yeah.
So
something to it. I don't know. It's your job to go do the homework.
Yeah.
Right. So we appreciate Barefoot Will. He doesn't know us from Adam, but enjoyed his thread. Questions, comments, concerns, email us at snackcast@yes.fit.
Stay moving.
See ya.